So, hi, John. First things first, congratulations on your impending fatherhood and, of course, your recent Bloodsport victory. I know you're no stranger to brutal encounters, and the last time I spoke to you, a fan had just run at you at Full Gear and you'd wrestled in what looked like hell or the sun or inside a cooker. So I know you might be feeling a bit better than that. How are you feeling? Is everything all good?
Yeah, really good. Just walking out of the gym, trying to get my bearings back.
Definitely.
Gotta make the donuts, man. Gotta work hard to play hard.
Most definitely. And I know that, no matter how you are feeling, nothing's going to keep you out of that exploding barbed wire death match, which even just the name of it sounds incredibly brutal. But your opponent in that bout, Kenny Omega, recently said that you inspire him creatively. This might be a stupid question. Whose idea was that match?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. That came somewhere from the think tank. I first heard the idea a long ass time ago. But now these thoughts come to light, and these I've had a lot of unscrupulous individuals, a lot of rogue guys, trying to who do evil deeds, who have tried to take me out over the years by throwing me off with cages or putting me through tables or hitting me with chairs. And it's the first time that they've actually tried to explode me. So, this would be another same old story of, they're trying to destroy me, but like Wile E. Coyote, I keep coming back somehow. But this might be the end. This might be the final way we get destroyed. So, if nothing else, you'll see me finally get blown up on March the 7th on pay-per-view if that happens. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I never would have imagined I'd get the opportunity to do one of these, and especially not in AEW or in a mainstream American pay-per-view. So I'm super excited about it. It's almost like too good to be true. I'm like, really? We can do that? Are you serious? I'm in. Hell yeah. Like, what a opportunity creatively, and an opportunity just to, what an experience to have. You can't turn down that stuff when it comes to do something really unique like that and to really live life to the fullest. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'll have a lot of things to say about it going forward on Dynamite and so forth as far as my feelings. So I don't want to spoil any of that right here, but I got a really good feeling about this. The emotional place I'm at right now. I got a good feeling about March 7th. I feel like it's going to be a pretty wild night in Jacksonville.
Yeah, most definitely. And for me, you said it there, it's insane that this is the kind of thing that we're going to see on mainstream television, because we don't see exploding barbed wire death matches that often. I know that, a lot of people might not really know what they are. One person that tweeted his displeasure about it was Jim Cornette, and he's called it goofy and outlaw, and he said that, it's risking injury for a minute set of fans that, couldn't keep Ring of Honor alive. What is your response to those comments? What do you think about the people that are not a fan of exploding barbed wire death matches?
I'd say you probably shouldn't watch the pay-per-view then, or at least turn it off before that match happens. It's a good thing about AEW. There's a little something for everybody, but I think we're pretty... There's really no way to sugarcoat a barbed wire exploding death match. It is what it is. So if you don't want to see it, then don't watch. If you think your kid is going to be a little bit too young to watch it, a little bit too violent for them, then they probably should watch it. I think something wrestling has been missing lately. It's another reason I'm excited about this. I think something wrestling's been missing in the last several years, or maybe a decade or more, or whatever, is just the element of actual danger, the element of you know, that feeling of like when it's main event time and the bell rings and the ring announcer walks down the aisle and this is the moment where all the marbles are on the line and there's not an element of danger, that element of you know, the Mike Tyson fight or the you know, that what's the word I'm looking for? I guess that's it. The element of danger of like, well, somebody could really, we're really risking our lives. These gentlemen are doing something extraordinary here and really putting their body on the line. Things that over the last decade or so have just got so, no matter what you advertise, you know, it's been, you know, you can put whatever you want on a poster and make it seem like you're going to see something super violent or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just, you know, these extreme kind of matches have been watered down and they're just safe and, you know, they're same old, and just look like we're playing fucking patty cake, you know, like, and I think we're going to bring back, you know, a real element of actual unpredictability and actual danger. I don't know what to expect. I don't think Kenny knows what to expect, and so I definitely don't think the fans are going to know what to expect. And you know, you get the way I look at things and the way Kenny Omega looks at things and our kind of drive to take things to a certain level when you put us in these situations and our, you know, we can't just go out. I think we have a similarity in that we can't just go out there and, you know, I've seen Kenny Omega's drive to excel in these scenarios up close and personal. And the combination of the two of us, I think, is going to make for something unique and special. And there's no restrictions and no restrictions as far as, you know, what could happen in AEW. And I can't thank AEW, Tony Khan, and everybody enough for the fact that when they put me in these situations, you know, because I make it very clear, don't put me in these situations if you don't want, you know, be careful what you wish for. You know, if you want Jon Moxley at level 10, then make sure that's what you really want. You know, I don't want to get yelled at by sponsors and TNT and Bleacher Report and everybody after the fact, you know, like, so make sure this is what you really want. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to get on March 7th. You know, I think the fans are going to be in Scotland and all around the world. They're going to be it'll be unlike anything you've seen. Definitely anytime soon, anytime recently.
Definitely. And you mentioned there, you know, a little bit about another thing I want to talk about, which is the fact that if fans don't want to see an exploding barbed wire death match, there is a few other things on the card that are a little bit interesting to some fans that have been watching wrestling for a long time. Not least the fact that we're going to see Sting wrestling for the first time in 6 years. What did you think when you found out about Sting coming to AEW, and is he a man that you want to work with?
Oh yeah, man, he's a stinger. He's a legend. He's you know, what more can you say that hasn't already been said? I think he's another one of those guys, just a great guy to have in the locker room for younger guys to see walk around backstage or to see in the ring on the same show as they are, because, you know, that's just not one of their regular old peers they see every week. That's fucking Sting. Oh, sorry for that, but that's Sting, man. He's that's a real bona fide wrestling superstar. You know, that's chose to be here at AEW because it's a great platform to maybe this is where he's going to close out his career, and the fact that he's chosen to do it here at AEW is a telling that, you know, we got a really good thing going on here, and people like Sting want to be a part of it, and it's a place where you can place where people can come to excel and get the best out of themselves. And that Sting wants to be here and wants to help out, you know, this next generation of guys. This special group of generation of guys here at AEW is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that, one of my favourite things about Jon Moxley is kind of not too dissimilar to Sting. I feel like now everything's on social media about wrestling, and for better or worse, it is great. Sometimes you're one of the few wrestlers that just doesn't really use social media at all. And it's like watching as a kid where it's like, I don't know why, but this guy just turns up on the same night every week to kick everybody's ass, and we don't question it, and that's just what you do. I need to ask that kind of thing. It gives the impression that maybe you're quiet and, keep yourself to yourself. But Cody Rhodes actually recently opened up about the story of Shawn Spears hitting him with a chair and you giving Shawn Spears a little bit of a bollocking for doing so. Is that the kind of thing that you see yourself as a locker room leader, and you are quite vocal in the locker room, and maybe that's a misconception? And do you feel like that's a thing you need to do with AEW being quite a young locker room, learning in front of the world, essentially?
I think everybody, I'm always trying to learn myself and seeing what guys are doing and what works and what people like and what people enjoy. And when I'm working with some of these young guys, that are got all these ideas and all this creativity, and they're unfettered and everything, and I don't want to come in and just be like, well, we're gonna do it my way because look, kid, I've been there. I've been at the top, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. Like I don't believe, I'm not into that. This is the you can always learn, especially from guys who've been around longer than you and have experience and stuff. But I'm into having an open mind, and I'll go. We can all learn from each other and create new things. As far as ways to tell stories and stuff. That's all we're doing, man. Is just trying to tell stories. And so I'll be like, okay, what do you want to do? And if it's some outside of the box idea that seems a little like that's not normally the way I would do it, because I may have had my, maybe I'm thinking too inside the box. I'll be like, oh, fuck it, let's try your idea, see if it works. Maybe I'll learn something from you, or So I think we're all kind of learning from each other or whatever. But yeah, I just don't. I think people have a conception of me that that I'm some kind of a hermit or something because I don't because I'm not addicted to social media like the rest of the world. Like my fucking wife's addicted to that shit. She kind of has to for a job. But I see it all the time. I just be like, she'll be taking pictures. She'll be like, "Oh, God, I just posted." I'll be like, "Why did you post that? Like, for what purpose? Why did they need to, like what? Because you can't stop. That's how people are now. There's nothing wrong with it, But it's funny though, because people are always trying to get me to post stuff and put stuff up and everything, and it's like, I just don't want to. I just don't like. I've thought about deleting that thing like 20 times because I have it for emergencies. It's like my emergency broadcast system. If something were to, I like to have it just so that in case something happened, like the times that like matches have had to change or something, or an emergency thing, that it would come directly from me. Like we're changing the card up or something. I'd like to have it there for emergencies. If there's like something poignant that needs to be said right now, that's important. But like, I just don't like it. There's nothing wrong with it, people. I have no, doesn't make, and I hear so many people just like go like, oh God, I hate Twitter. All the people, everybody's saying all this negative shit on Twitter all the time. I'm like, then why do you do it? Just stop using it. If you don't like it, you bitch about it more than you say you enjoy it. I never hear anybody go, man, I opened up my Twitter today and it was great. I had a great morning. No, everybody seems to hate it, which makes no sense. So then why are we using it? If you don't want it, I don't get it. But it's like when people come up to me like, whether I'm doing a movie or a project or I do an interview or this or that, or people come or people from TV or the toy people or whoever the fuck, they'll be like, anyway, you can share this on social media, and the hashtag is this and whatever, and yada yada. And I'm like, oh, okay. And when they realize like I don't do it, they look at me like I have 3 heads. Like that's what I'm saying is like people have this conception that I'm some kind of hermit or something, that I'm locked in a cave or something all the time, just because I don't post on social media every 30 seconds. It's like, just because like one time when I was out with an injury for a few months or whatever, a few years back, and I don't, and I'd still be texting people, talking to people. If you call me on a phone, I'll answer the phone. I'd be at the gym. I'm around, like I'm living life or whatever. But people will be like, "Oh my God, what happened to you? Like, you just been off the grid for months." I'm like, I wasn't off the grid. I was just at home. What do you mean I was off the grid? I wasn't up in the mountains in a fucking hut like the Unabomber. I just don't share what I had for breakfast every morning with the entire fucking world. Like you know, people look at you when you have 3 heads. You don't use social media, but I'm like, it's not for me. I don't get it. Whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I'll veer away from that a little bit, and I want to talk about your opponent in the Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch, Kenny Omega. He recently spoke about discussions he'd had with Triple H, and then spoke, that was before AEW was a thing, and then spoke about Triple H's open for business comments and saying he seen it as at least being a possibility. I know you've recently said, you don't ever want to close the door on anything because you never know what will happen. But given your last stint there and then the obvious validation of you being, the top of the mountain pretty much in wrestling right now, what would your thoughts be on that, on a potential AEW and WWE partnership?
That would never happen. That's not even worth wasting any mental energy I mean, if you want a fantasy book some cool shit, that'd be good fantasy booking for like fun magazine stuff. Like back in the day, the magazines used to always have like dream match, Bill Goldberg versus Steve Austin in like 98. But yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So
we'll have Godzilla versus King Kong, Jon Moxley v Roman Reigns. Definitely never going to happen again.
It'd be cool to think about the cool shit that could happen, do a big summit at the Tokyo Dome, AEW, New Japan, WWE, or some shit. Like, but that shit ain't gonna happen. So, like, they do their thing. They stay over there.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I need to ask you, as a Scotsman, AEW is obviously loved on this side of the pond. I think in the UK it was, the first premiere of AEW made it the most popular show in the UK. Cody Rhodes has been vocal about wanting to come over and perform in front of the crowds here, saying it's a kind of make or break for talent. Why do you think it's so important to get AEW talent over in front of Scottish and British crowds?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was in the works. We were going to do a little, I don't think that's a secret. We were going to do a little trip over to the UK over the summer, I think. I was going to be going back and forth there a couple times before the pandemic to, to various parts of Europe, because they're just such passionate wrestling crowds over there. I used to really love the European tours. They're like my favorite thing to do. Go to all the different towns, the Glasgow's and London and towns like that where it's just wild crowds. And I think because we're not coming through on the same frequency as a lot of towns in the United States, that is really, it's a real special thing when we come through and we get excited to go over there. And it's just a real special thing it's kind of hard to put into words. There's just kind of a magic when you go over and wrestle for some of these great European crowds, and we know a lot of fans over there are watching Dynamite, so we were very excited to bring Dynamite live over there in all the different stars of AEW live in a person, but pandemic's kind of slowed everything down, obviously. But I think that would happen probably at the first available opportunity, as soon as the world starts getting a little bit more back to normal and we can have bigger crowds and international travel becomes a more realistic uh, thing logistically and so forth. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's like another one of those things that just kind of everything kind of had to get put on the back burner for a year, but definitely going to happen in the future. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. It's kind of a special, magical thing when some of these shows in Europe. It's kind of hard to put your finger on. There's just some buildings and some cities around the world, that where it's just there's a certain magic where just wrestling comes alive, and the connection with the audience and the product, where it's just a real special feeling between the wrestlers and the fans. And there's many places like Scotland's on the top of that list. And I think we're definitely looking forward to going over there. I personally am. So hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that, obviously everyone will talk about iconic Jon Moxley matches and promos, but one of my favourite things that Jon Moxley has done, it was in WWE, but it involves someone that's in AEW now, and it might be a bit of a surprising one. It was when you took a DDT from Jake the Snake, got the snake put on you, and it looked like you were just lying there with the biggest grin ever on your face. Can you tell me a bit about that moment, if you remember it, and have you spoken with Jake about it since?
No, I haven't talked to him about that. Yeah, that seems like it was like a million years ago. I remember that I was like trying to play dead. And the snake is like tickling my face. So I'm trying real hard to like not sell these tickling my face. And then CM Punk was in a ring and he just goes, "That snake shit on your face." So then I started laughing, and I was supposed to be knocked out from the DDT. I was laughing at and yelling that snake shit on my face, which it didn't. It did not shit on my face, but I don't think. But yeah, I remember that.
It's like one of my favourite memories ever, obviously eclipsed by all your great matches as well, but it's just one of those things that stands out. Now, one phrase that has been brought up a lot is the forbidden door, and obviously you're familiar with competing, in AEW, New Japan and Bloodsport recently. We've seen a lot of AEW talents in Impact. Are you actively pushing to do anything with Impact, or might we even see, Kenny Omega's got Gallows and Anderson? Might we see a certain shooter come in and help Jon Moxley in the future?
I'd be. I think it's the cool thing, man. I think the pandemic kind of made everybody think outside the box a little bit as far as how they do shows and present stuff, and the way we got to film TV and everything. It kind of got everybody to think outside the box a little bit, which might help with some of this kind of working together and cross promotion and everything. And I don't think so. I think it's great, man. The work with Impact is great. If it's an easier thing to facilitate, people coming to back and forth in New Japan or whatever, it's great for everybody and great for the fans. I don't think it's cool. Every company has their own certain identity, and the important thing is all the different promotions keep their identity of like, that's what makes them different. That's what makes the cross promotional matches cool and keeps them like dream matches. So it's not like anybody's got to be married to each other, because it's different promotions with different business plans, do different stuff. But if the situation is just easier to say, hey, we need a guy for this certain thing, who could come over from Impact, or we need a certain tag. We need to bring in a tag team from somewhere. Who's New Japan got? Or we're going to send a young guy over to Japan for a few months just to gain some experience, get different looks, wrestle different styles. I think it could be beneficial for so many different people in so many ways, for just it to be like just chill, man. Like, it doesn't have to be like some huge business deal or anything like that, or some huge invasion angle or anything. But when you think of all the possibilities for just cool stuff to happen here and there, if the quote unquote doors are open or the bridges are down or whatever, I've been going through back and forth through the door whenever I want. Like that, I would have been in Japan like a full schedule of one for the pandemic. I already had flights booked, I had fucking matches booked. I was already January and February. I was going back and forth like constantly. So I would have been doing that the whole year, So uh, I guess it's like kind of always been open. It's just a matter of what's some cool creative thing we can do, and if everybody's cool with it, and possibilities for impact and everything are endless, So I could definitely, they got a lot of great talent and impact, a lot of guys I'd like to wrestle. So I think hopefully the possibilities are endless. Hopefully they're all kind of realistic now.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we'll see Shota Umino come and help you out as well. But, you mentioned a lot of talent sharing there. One man that apparently is a free agent, a lot of people aren't sure whether they believe that or not, and you've shared the ring with him, is Brock Lesnar. Is he someone you'd like to see in AEW? Do you think AEW could do with a Brock Lesnar?
Sure. I doubt that's going to happen, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. On the opposite end of that scale, because you've obviously worked with him, you've worked with Chris Jericho, a lot of the massive names, but one thing you've not been shy about in AEW is working with younger talent, and even, lesser known talent like John Cruz recently and Nick Comoroto, even like Fabio Andre and the likes of them. Has anyone really caught your eye that you're like, damn, the fans need to see more of this person, they need to get a bigger spotlight?
Yeah, and I get asked this question all the time, and there's the obvious ones, like the guys that are kind of building as young stars, like the MJFs and the Guevaras and the Darbys and so forth. Will Hobbs has got a lot, I think, to bring to the table. I think he's gonna take off, and when it hits with him, it'll hit. You'll be like, oh yeah, he's definitely got something that I can see. But I'll tell you a guy though that I'd say probably is at the top of that list is Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
Ricky Starks is right there already. And I got an opportunity to work with him a little bit and kind of see his mindset and the way his maturity level and so forth. And obviously he's got the talent in the ring and the charisma and all that stuff, certain package he brings to the table. But from my experience working with him a tad, I think he's got the brain and the mindset is already there too. Like, to me, he's already there. He's already ready. So I think Ricky Starks is going to climb the ladder faster than you might have expected if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got two final questions I want to ask. You've obviously been in the AEW locker room for a couple of years now. You've been in a load of other locker rooms. If you could bring one talent to AEW, who would you bring in?
Ooh, maybe I mean, that's kind of people that are like not in I'll say a lot of these guys that aren't Impact or New Japan either, because that'd be a lot more potentially to pick like completely out of the box fringe guy. I would say one would be Masashi Takeda from Big Japan, and obviously Harry Smith.
Yeah.
Another one. I just wrestled him in a knockdown, drag out, fucking nasty wrestling match with him this past weekend that was super fun and really enjoyed it, and that was pretty dope. You can check that out on good
It's on Fight
fight
TV.
great
Yep.
service for all the fans over there in Scotland. You know, I think that's how we watch Dynamite and pay-per-views over there.
Yep.
So definitely check out Bloodsport 5 on Fight TV. It was one of my favorite matches recently, and something I was pretty had a lot of fun doing. I was really excited about it. It's a pretty cool show. It really flies by in about 90 minutes. You watch the whole show. Just pure violent in your face wrestling top to bottom. I was really happy with I hadn't seen it, but nobody was there because it was an empty warehouse, you know, which it was pretty cool actually. For some of this empty arena wrestling can be tough, but for the blood sport style and the aesthetic and if there's anything built for an empty arena situation, kind of blood sport, it fits. So definitely check that Bloodsport 5. You know, it's pretty. I'm pretty excited about it. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. He has with Harry, you know, Takeda, and two guys, you know, bring them over here. And I think anybody, you know, there's, you know, I'll tell you a guy I'd like to see here is Christian.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what his, you know, I don't know if that was a one-off for him in the Royal Rumble or what is, you know, but that he looked freaking good to me. Looked like he was in great shape. He looked sharp, man. And I tell you, he's one of the guys that's, and the wrestlers know it more so than anybody. Christian is so good. Like he's like his brain and his execution and his mind for wrestling is just like next level. The first time we worked with him, you know, we come in and we're doing these 6-mans with the Shield, and you know, we're like really pushing the pace, and you know, we're trying to have the most exciting matches, and you know, we're pushing these guys to like all these dream team guys, you know, we're pushing them to be like, no, let's do another thing and another thing. Let's add more to it and do another save and another thing, and let's do a triple this or whatever. And we're really pushing the pace, you know, and like thinking like, all right, yeah, nobody can keep up with us. This is awesome. And then we work with Christian one night, and I remember me and Seth looking at each other going, damn, Christian is good. Christian made us feel like, damn, he's like, we thought we were really fucking good. He's like next level. So like, and the people who work with him know in the industry, you know, his respect level is huge. The things that he could do with the wrestlers at AEW and the all the creative kind of freedom, but you know, taking things to a next. Well, there's no hindrance on anything creatively, you know. Here, obviously, we're having a friggin' exploding death match, you know. So the things Christian could do at AEW I would be extremely excited to see that. That would be probably my number one dream guy.
Yeah, most definitely. And I appreciate you've taken so much time to talk to me. I'm really thankful for that. I've got one last question that I would like to squeeze in. I recently watched yourself and your wife, Renee, doing her Oral Sessions podcast, and she compared being in bed with Jon Moxley to the song Easy Like a Sunday Morning. What song would describe the exploding barbed wire death match with Kenny Omega?
Oh, it'd be like, that's a good question.
I'll take that. I saved the best till last.
It's an interesting, you know, and wrestling can be like music in a lot of ways. That's why it's cool to see different opponents kind of mix with different guys, and you get a different combustion and different types of matches. You know, like a lot of the classic Kenny Omega matches are like, you know, like classical music, like symphonies, very detailed, long form pieces of art, you know. And me, a lot of it is, you know, like my match with Harry this weekend would be like thrash metal, like 3 minutes in your fucking face, Anthrax, Slayer, like blah, 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 aggressive, fucking get the shit done. Pedal to the metal. So when you combine our those two things and you create a combustion of like you get something entirely new, and that's kind of what has transpired with us in the past, and what will happen on pay-per-view. I think, you know, whatever that type of music would be. I would think it would be like, for me, it'd probably be somewhere different. Than it would probably play different in my head than it would to some of the people watching. To some of the people watching, it might be like the soundtrack from Psycho or something, when the chick's getting stabbed in the shower, like, ah, oh god, turn away from the screen. But for me, you know, especially when I get, you know, I listen to music before matches, you know, it's important for me to kind of get in the right headspace, depending on the scenario and what the story is and where I'm at character wise. I might listen to different types of music to get where I need to be at differently for different types of matches. You know, for a match with Eddie Kingston where it's this real personal, deep thing, I might listen to a certain thing, or for a different type of match, I might listen to a different thing. But for something like this, you know, and just in general, you know, I'm not always just like listening to like Slayer and Pantera before a match to get all hyped up and aggressive, you know, because that's not where I need to be at all the time, you know. Sometimes I listen to more like fun music, or more just like lighthearted stuff to get because I want to just like get in a good mood and get loose and start moving around. And like, if I get to like where I'm almost like dancing, like while I'm warming up, like, and I'm really in the zone, that's when I'm like usually at my best and my most aggressive and my most violent. So the stuff I listen to right before the match usually wouldn't be what you would think I would listen to. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, if I take away one thing, I'll just write a quick headline of Jon Moxley listens to Taylor Swift before matches. Something like that.
No, like, cause that's no, but like I think like there's that good like or like something like White Lines, Grandmaster
Yeah.
Flash or whatever, you know what I mean? Where I'm just like, yeah, just kind of getting loose, you know? Some Gnarls Barkley or something, or some Dr. Dre, or some, you know, just you know, something to get the some like getting the dance floor moving type music sometimes is kind of gets me in the flowy right headspace to just go out there and, you know, stab somebody in the face with a sharp object.